All right, so first of all, I apologize for how I sound. I am under the weather, but I thought that I should get this video out around now because this is something that is pretty uh important to me as a gamer, as a critic, as a member of a marginalized group, whatever the case may be. So we need to talk about Hogwarts Legacy. All right, this game about the good old-fashioned wizarding world created by J.K. Rowling, the game developed by Portkey, published by WB Games, stands to be one of the biggest games of the year. I can see this game standing even above the Dead Space remake in terms of sales. Um, Probably only to be eclipsed by Spider-Man, whatever Call of Duty game is coming out this year, and maybe Star Wars. We'll see how that goes. Um, that being said, though, it is also the center of a great deal of controversy. Controversy unlike anything we've seen in the last couple of years. This is even beyond what happened with The Last of Us Part 2, right? And it's not because of anybody involved in making the game, it's because of the people playing the game. For anybody who doesn't spend their entire life on Twitter, let me explain to you. J.K. Rowling has come out and explicitly said that she is a TERF, a trans exclusionary radical feminist. Basically, all for women power, feminism is the way, unless you are a trans woman. That is what she believes. Um, and rightly, she has been accused of being transphobic, homophobic, everything under the sun. Uh, and as such, a lot of queer people in the community that follow the Wizarding World and Harry Potter have felt conflicted over the years on whether or not they should continue to support this creation that they really like or really enjoy or appreciate or is very important to them while not wanting to support the hateful, spiteful bigot who created it all. And that's perfectly valid. I'm not exactly part of the LGBT community, or, well, jury's still out on that, I suppose. Um, so I can't say whether or not you, as a queer person or a queer person that you know, whether or not you should play this game or buy official merchandise or stream the movies on, legitimate platforms or go see the new Fantastic Beast movie, whatever. I can't tell you to do that or not to, because that is your personal conflict to resolve within yourself. Now, there are plenty of people who do not engage with Harry Potter in any legitimate way whatsoever. They would pirate the movies if they wanted to watch them. They buy third party merchandise from Etsy or other places like that. They don't read the books from official sources. That is fine. That is what you want to do. Okay? But you don't get to take your beliefs and your feelings towards J.K. Rowling and try to force it onto other people. That's where the problem lies. Okay? Because there are people who just want to play this game because they are fans of Harry Potter, or they think Harry Potter is mildly cool enough, or they think the gameplay looks cool, or they like open world RPGs. There are multiple reasons that a game could appeal to somebody. We cannot assume that everybody who wants to play this game or buy this game even likes Harry Potter, agrees with J.K. Rowling, is transphobic, hates the trans community in any sort of way. We cannot make these assumptions, right? And what is happening as a result of all of this is there are so many people who have spoken up and are like, I'm going to buy this game just to own the libs. And that is so counterproductive to the point, right? Because we didn't see this outrage when Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald and Secrets of Dumbledore came out, the last two movies. Yes, there were people that are like, I'm not going to go watch this movie because I don't support J.K. Rowling and what she says and what she does. But with not Crimes of Grindelwald, Secrets of Dumbledore, the main reason a lot of people didn't go watch that movie is because they fired Johnny Depp unfairly and still released the movie with Ezra Miller in the midst of all the legal shit they were going through last year with kidnapping people and just going missing and grooming and all of this stuff. Those were the two shining reasons that people did not watch the third Fantastic Beasts film, not because it was partially written and executive produced by J.K. Rowling. Because the majority of people either don't know or simply don't care. There are many, many situations out there where a creator of something that you really enjoy has done something horrible. For me, for example, the first thing that comes to mind is Nobuhiro Watsuki, the creator of Rurouni Kenshin. Cool little feel good manga about a guy who used to be a really efficient and lethal killer who doesn't want that life anymore. He just wants to live a normal life helping people. I love that. I love that story. But the creator was caught with a lot of CP on his computer and just kind of got fined. Didn't really go to jail, didn't receive any serious punishment for it, just fined. That is abhorrent and disgusting to me. But I still like Rurouni Kenshin, so when the live action movies were coming out, I still watched them. And you can think of me whatever you want because of that. It's just how I felt in that situation. I felt as though I was able to separate the art from the artist because I don't see Rurouni Kenshin as reflective of a person who would do something like that. Now, when it comes to the Wizarding World, by and large, I do not support it monetarily. I have bought Harry Potter merchandise from third-party sources on Etsy and on Amazon. I don't go and watch the movies. Um, and for Hogwarts Legacy, I did not plan on buying the game. At least not in the most straightforward way. My plan is to either pirate the game if I'm able to for PC or get a pre-owned PS5 copy from GameStop. That way, GameStop makes the money and JK doesn't. Because here's the thing, right? Doesn't matter how many of us buy or don't buy the game. JK Rowling is still rolling in cash. There's nothing we can do to stop that. Now, if you derive a sense of personal or moral victory from not supporting the game with your money, that is totally fine. I will not shame you for that. That is your right to feel that way. But we can't go after people who either don't know or don't care and just want to play the cool wizard game. Because here's the thing, right? I can recognize that Harry Potter serves as one of the greatest coming out allegories ever. Ever written, at least in modern history. At least as one of the most popular ones. I get that. It's up there with The Matrix. However, while being able to appreciate that a person might feel betrayed by JK and the things that she has said and done, it is not then your right to go and attack other people. Because I'm sure that there is something that you do support that is, just as bad or even worse, where the creator did something horrible or hurt somebody. You know, and I hate to get into this point, but there's also a level of hypocrisy that I find really strange about this whole situation, right? Because when you read Harry Potter, there are things that stick out as particularly disgusting, right? The goblins. The goblins are so obviously meant to be Jewish, yet they are written in a nasty, mean, hateful, spiteful way. It does not depict Jewish people in a good light. Um, Black people in Harry Potter. You have a guy named Kingsley Shacklebolt. That's gross. Retroactively, Hermione Granger is black, so you have a black girl who was trying to start a freedom force for slave elves, and everybody around her, including the elves, started gaslighting her and harassing her like, hey, Hermione, idiot, maybe we/they like being slaves. Ever think about that? Stop being so selfish. And the implications of that are really weird. You have the African wizards who don't use wands, they have to use hand magic, like house elves who are slaves, and trolls who are unintelligent, so that's cool. Um, you have Cho Cheng, which is one of the worst names you could possibly come up with for an Asian character. That's straight up awful. Um, Seamus Finnegan, terrible name for an Irish character. Like, the list goes on. There's so much misogyny, and there are so many racist undertones, all throughout the story of the Wizarding World. There's anti-Semitism, there's all of that. But I don't see people speaking up to say, hey, black people should not consume the Wizarding World. Asian people should not consume the Wizarding World. Irish people should not consume the Wizarding World. And women should not consume the Wizarding World. There's also a lot of fat phobia, right? Based on how the Dursleys are characterized, and Dudley only becomes an okay character once he loses weight, and how not Professor McGonagall, what's her name in the fifth book? Professor Umbridge, how she is. But nobody says, hey, fat people shouldn't consume the Wizarding World because of how cruel JK is when she's writing people who look like you or are similar to you in a key fundamental way. People with your same gender identity, people with your same skin color, people with your same body type. They're either parodies or downright nasty characters. And as such, as a black person, it does make me a bit uncomfortable consuming Harry Potter content, so I don't that much anymore. But I don't see this level of outcry from the other marginalized groups who are directly attacked or vilified or parodied in the original work. Because let's talk about Tonks for a moment. Tonks is the closest thing to a non-binary character in the original 7 books. She doesn't go by her first name at all, just last name Tonks. Completely gender neutral name. And she is capable of shape-shifting into just about any and everything, you know? Literally gender fluid, as can be. But then she falls in love with Remus Lupin and gets tamed and starts going by Dora and becomes a wife and mother. Now, it's not to say that, you know, a non-binary or gender fluid person cannot get married and take on the role of a wife or husband or parent. But it's that it reads as though Remus tamed her into being a traditional cisgender woman. Or at least that's how I've seen it, and that's how I've heard it be described by certain people in the community, and I have to agree. Um, so you have that, and that is just about as close as I can really recall the books getting to being transphobic in any sort of way. It's all been after the fact. What we're seeing with Irish people, Asian people, black people, fat people, women, all of that stuff is in the original source material, and it's despicable and it's disgusting. And when I tried reading it as an adult, it made me uncomfortable. I didn't see it as a kid, but getting older, I'm like, wow, that's really weird and bad, and I don't like that. Goblet of Fire is unreadable for me because of the whole thing with the elves. But again, I don't see this level of support. Like, hey, black folks, if you value your self-respect and your identity, do not read Goblet of Fire. You don't see that sort of thing. But you do see that the LGBT community should not consume the Wizarding World because of what the author has said about trans people after the fact. I don't know. It is strangely inconsistent. I also think that if you are part of or if you represent a group that is seen as marginalized, it doesn't really help to try to bully other people into believing what you believe. Right? Because there are already so many conservatives that like to talk shit about the tolerant left not being tolerant, but it just gives fuel to their fire when you go online and all you see is people being like, I hate you for playing this game. You're terrible for playing this game. There was a website devoted to finding out if streamers were playing Hogwarts Legacy, which is literally you cannot convince me that it was designed to do anything but witch hunt streamers. Because here's the thing, dude. Yes, there are some people out there who are completely willing to buy and play this game just to own the libs. But what percentage of people is that really? What we're really dealing with here is a bunch of people who just want to play the cool Hogwarts game where you run around and cast a Avada Kedavra. That's all it really comes down to. We wouldn't be in this whole own the libs situation if it weren't for people being so vindictive towards others who just want to play and enjoy the funny wizard game. I don't know. Personally, I don't plan on financially supporting this game, but I do still plan on playing it. And that is my decision, right? I cannot make somebody else not buy the game. You should not try to force your opinion towards the game onto other people. That is unfair. I just think that this energy that is being spent on fighting over this game on Twitter could be better used elsewhere. You know? And again, if you want to play the game or not, that's completely up to you. That's your decision. Just try to be nice to people, okay? Because like it or not, there's only one Harry Potter. And for all of its flaws, Harry Potter has given us a lot of really cool stuff. And even with everything that I've realized about it as I've gotten older, it's still a story that has meant a lot to me for a very long time. And I can't just completely turn my back on it. You know? I still like the Wizarding World. And I'm probably going to continue to like the Wizarding World, in spite of everything. I just don't have to pay anything out of pocket to do so. That's what I encourage you guys to do. Anyway, I need to wrap this video up before I fall apart. I'm sure I'll hear a lot in the comments about whatever. I don't care. Say what you want. Play the game if you want. Don't play the game if you don't want to. Or if you want to boycott the game, then I suggest that you take the $60 that you were going to spend on the game and donate it to the Trevor Project, as I will be doing. So, anyway, I'll see you guys later.